Right, time for the worst match in the showcase. Chicago, Illinois. Obviously, the match everyone remembers from this pay-per-view.
Team have done in effect is take away the championship advantage from Randy Orton. Normally, a title can only change hands via pinfall or submission, but tonight, as we just heard, if Orton's disqualified, Christian's the new champion.
And I'll tell you, Cole, Christian spent a lot of money to arrange this match exactly how he wanted it. If Christian doesn't defeat Randy Orton tonight, I think it'll be his last shot at Orton's crown. I think Christian already had too many opportunities.
So, if you haven't noticed by now, this is just an idea. I don't know if this is true. This might just be me having too high of expectations, being a little bit of a dick. But it really feels like WWE Games got lazy with the second half of this showcase. Because in the first half, there's a lot of detail. Inside of the matches, there are a lot of important sequences that are recreated. Between the big pay-per-view matches, there were SmackDown matches. There's a lot of build-up. They were highlighting important points in the feud that were happening on SmackDown, as well as between the pay-per-views, or at the pay-per-views, I mean. And then that just dies out pretty much after after Christian's heel turn on SmackDown. That's just over. It's done. They stopped doing that. And granted, there aren't huge points that happen between, say, between the heel turn and Capital Punishment, between Capital Punishment and Money in the Bank, but it feels like they could have done more. Like,
the Viper is known for his calculated demeanor.
I'll let Cole speak.
Really be able to keep his composure during Christian's brand of psychological warfare.
Well, Christian's going to do all he can and then some to try to make Randy Orton lose it. He'll have to know it's going to take a lot because Orton's as cold as ice.
Like, between Capital Punishment and Money in the Bank, there's a moment where I want to say, I'm trying to remember how Christian becomes #1 contender. I believe he wins a tag match or something. I want to say Mark Henry's his partner. Can't remember who they beat. But the idea was that, you know, if Christian wins his match on SmackDown, then Teddy Long's like, yeah, maybe you'll get another title shot. So they win the match, but I believe Mark Henry got the pinfall. So Christian took that as him automatically being the #1 contender. Next week, there's a match between Mark Henry and Sheamus? Kane? Can't fucking remember who. Or maybe it's someone smaller. Maybe it's a Daniel Bryan or a Sin Cara. Who knows? No, it wasn't Sin Cara. The idea is that Mark Henry was entering a feud with the Big Show at the time. And Big Show's music hits during the match, and it causes Mark Henry to get counted out, I think. So because Henry loses, Christian's like default the #1 contender.
Introducing first the challenger from Toronto, Canada. Weighing in at
Well, you get a special champion's introduction for this.
Christian.
And this is something that every match in the game should have.
St. Louis, Missouri.
This is too much work for them, but wouldn't it be fucking cool if every champion's introduction was unique? Like, every character had their own animation for when they're the challenger and when they're the champion. So that way, you could always have this. Like, Orton has a certain stance for when he's the champion. He has a certain stance for when he's the challenger.
Very important stipulation here.
I don't know. That's just how I would do it. Especially because the normal one looks really fucking stupid. Where the champion raises his hand, the title up, and he like almost loses balance and shit. Believe me, I know how fucking stupid that shit looks.
He's going to try to do anything he can to goad Orton into losing his cool.
And here they go.
Match is underway for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Wait a minute, what's Christian doing here?
Hey. And Christian wasting little time trying to take advantage of the stipulation in this match.
He just threw a steel chair into the ring, and he's asking Orton to hit him with it.
Orton can't hit him with it. Randy knows that.
Look at Christian. Come on, right in the back. Blast me.
Well, I'm sure Randy would want to, considering the issues between these two men.
Yeah, but Randy does not want to lose his world championship that way. That's for sure. Christian's going to have to be smarter than that.
Yeah, nice try, Christian.
Uh-oh.
No, Orton.
And my least favorite thing about the entire showcase, why the hell do they make you play as Orton for this match? I mean, one thing, at this point, it's just unbalanced, where you're playing as Orton too much versus playing as Christian, but Christian fucking wins this match. Why do you play as Orton? I don't know.
Three-time Intercontinental Champion and a 9-time.
I have no problem playing with Orton a lot. I mean, I like Orton, but Jesus. This is the one time where it feels really, really unnecessary.
We've seen many matches that are no disqualification.
And again, maybe I could have excused it had they kept doing, having build-up matches between the pay-per-view from like SmackDown and shit, or maybe Raw. There's at least 1 or 2 Raws up to this point where SmackDown's roster was there. Like I remember one time on one of these special Raw episodes, Christian has a match with Rey Mysterio, I believe.
And that was criminal activity from Christian, if you ask me. I think
I'm not sure how any of that would have been relevant, but could have done something.
And that's a stiff kick. A battle of wills now.
Or chain grappling.
In all my years following this business as a fan and covering it as a member of WWE's broadcast team, I've never seen the World Championship change hands like this.
And you know, Cole, I've been in this industry more than 40 years, and that's the most shocking.
And Cole brings up a good point. Prior to this match, there had been a few moments where a heel character would somehow, some way, make the champion lose the champion's advantage. But no title had ever changed hands via disqualification, which is almost a shame too, because I remember leading up to this match, there was always this, well, there was a lot of skepticism that the title would change hands via disqualification just because it had never been done before. So if there's one good thing to come out of not doing what I suggested, which was Christian win dirty at Capital Punishment, and instead Christian win via disqualification at Money in the Bank, is, at the very least, it set a precedent that, you know, this can happen. It's happened before, and it could happen again someday. So, in the event, I don't think it's happened since, but the next time there is a title match where, any kind of title match where the champion can lose the title via disqualification, I wouldn't be surprised to hear this match brought up again, that it's happened before.
The Vipers on the attack, however, it's important to keep in mind Randy Orton cannot be disqualified.
Yeah, and if Christian thinks Randy Orton's going to let up at all because of the disqualification stipulation, he's got to...
And again, this is another point where I feel like they got a little lazy, is this match is missing a bunch of sequences. There are a lot of cool spots in this match that they just chose not to acknowledge. There's one point where Christian actually lands the kill switch and Orton kicks out. Another moment, right after that, Christian goes for the spear. Orton counters it and hits a Canadian neckbreaker, I believe, which is a move that was a signature of Orton's actually just a couple years ago in WWE 13. Might still be in this game, I'm not sure. No, I guess it's not, because I've played as him enough. Yeah, that's right, because this and the stomping are his signatures. Maybe it's still in his moveset somewhere. It's a cool move. Hopefully it's still in the game. But after he hits that, Christian kicks out of that. And then comes the RKO sequence, in which I think this is going to happen. Yep, this is it. This is actually really well animated. Just looks like a big jizz blob on his fucking upper lip.
And he may have succeeded now. Look at this.
And remember, the champ Orton, he can't get disqualified. He's going to lose the title. Randy's got to be really careful here.
And the referee up to a count of 4. Now he's actually putting Randy off instead of disqualifying him.
Oh, and the low blow.
And they got the sequence
I
perfect.
think Christian spit in Orton's face.
The winner of this match as a result of a disqualification and the new World Heavyweight Champion, Christian.
Christian's the new world champion. From Randy Orton, right over here in front of us.
Yeah.
Randy Orton beat the hell out of Christian. The Viper is completely lost in King.
Oh, man. Can you blame him? He loses his title. He's gonna lose his temper. Oh, wait a minute. Orton, enough's enough.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. Christian brought this upon himself. Christian forced the Apex Predator into this position.
Well, I understand that Orton's upset, but get off our announce table. Enough is enough.
Oh, this is not going to be good for Christian. Randy
Ooh.
KO.
And I don't think this part is scripted, actually. I think the table is supposed to break, and Orton was supposed to leave him there.
The night he is having.
But the crowd was kind of egging him on, and the table didn't break, so I think he purposely goes back to try again.
The World Heavyweight Championship.
We'll never underestimate Christian. He went with everything he could. Oh, wait a minute. Orton's not through. Orton's coming back.
Oh, they got to get him out of
Only
here.
out.
He's going to severely hurt Christian here. Somebody's got to get him out of here.
If you listen carefully.
Oh, KO.
That's got to be it for Christian.
So, the actual sound of Orton hitting the table, I think, was the actual audio used. Him yelling was the same audio. A lot of his mumbling is the same audio. But again, why I think that the table was supposed to break is the way he hits the table. He just seems kind of pissed off that it didn't break when it was supposed to.